Hello everyone, nice to see you. Sorry for the delay, some technical issues. I am Odysseas Lekatsas. I'm here to discuss about AI and the use of AI in compliance. Nice to meet you, everyone. I want to thanks iExperts about the invitation. Let me share my presentation before we start. We will present for almost half hour, and then you can ask any question you have. I hope I can answer in any of them. So, I hope everyone looks okay. Do you see my screen? So, my name is Odysseas Lekatsas. I work in a consulting company as a Big Four in Luxembourg as a senior project manager. Additionally, I work as an expert in the European Commission for evaluation of some proposals in AI and cybersecurity. I have certified in ISO 27001, NIS2, and DORA. So, why we are here? I understand first of all, from Luxembourg, which I work in, and other European countries, about the need that the biggest clients in financials, most over clients, need about implementation of regulation in their processes. I see many people, recruiters, talent, and HR retrieving information and new talents about implementing and hire people to this type of processes and positions. And here is to discuss about how you can automate these processes with the use of AI. First of all, I want to say that I'm not a cybersecurity engineering or someone of development team. So I will have some project management approach, but of course we can discuss about anything about this or to go to implement it. In this session, I want to share about an entry level about how in the practice level we can go to the use of AI in compliance. And then we can discuss about how we can do it to build it or develop in more final products. First of all, we must understand what is compliance, what is the ISO, the guidance of ISO, how you use it and implement it, and how we adopt DORA and NIS2 in the financial or in other different sectors. Okay. What is ISO 37001? It's an information security standards that we use for manage the systems, to manage the processes, the assets of a company, to define the controls and find the processes and gaps between those processes to secure about how we can implement it and be more safer in our company. Most of the times we see the implementation of these processes through CIO, Chief Information Officer, or through the CISO, the security officers. These two people must be independent, okay, to be sure about that they follow all the right processes and to check everyone independently check the processes from different approach. Okay, of course we have in our firms in the company we have internal auditors, and then we have the external ones. If you can proceed with the certification of ISO, you can be our internal leaders in your firm, or to working as a external auditors about to check about all these processes if they follow the follow ones. But the ISO is only guides, and not necessarily but to follow, but to be sure about if you will be implemented, it will be much more suitable for your companies, because if you work in collaborate with external vendors, most over we ask about for our client, for our vendors to have follow all the ISO compliance processes. Then we have NIS2, is cybersecurity regulations, is the risk management and risk reporting. It's about the security of measuring 24,000 incident notification and critical important entities. Neither if we speak about new project or operations in a company, in the process of the company, we speak about to follow all the security processes that we need. We have risk assessments and risk analysis. And when we start a project, we implemented the risk assessments and we do a mitigation plan. What's happened then? If something happened technically or for another external or internal reasons have impact to the project or to the operation of the company, we open an incident report. Then we follow about the processes about root cause analysis to understand why this happened, and we follow the mitigation plan that we have. To be sure that will be implemented the project or to have the continuously of the operations of the processes, we adopt and implemented NIS2 or ISO. Additionally, from the other side, we have the DORA, which is only for financial sectors, implemented, if I remember well, in 2025, and of course, implemented the ICT risk and operational resilience, about the incident reporting, third-party risk, and resilient testing. Of course, the three of them have some common side about the risk assessments and the incidents report, but additionally have some separated parts. To make easier this course, I make a mix of all of them in one prompt, in one guide, but it will be better from my approach if you want to build a product based on this regulation or framework. It will be better to separate them. So if we build about a new product who automate it with the use of AI to check about these regulations, I will create it in three different parts. First of all, to check the processes of the company through the ISO, next with the NIS2 and the DORA. The difference between compliance and execution gap. First of all, we have the 73% of compliance fatigue as security leaders report their teams are overwhelmed and overlapping regularity demands. Of course, we have 60% of execution gap. The organizations that pass audits still experience of significant breach within 12 months, and the missing of professionals about to implement this type of regulations. Moreover, as I know, we have in a consulting company, we have almost in Luxembourg at least, in Greece too, we have 2,000 people. The security experts or CISO or security engineering, they are between 10 persons. This is a very low percent of people which can use and apply all these processes. Okay. Additionally, NIS2 and DORA is something new in the last 1 and 3 years for NIS2, and no, we don't have many professionals who's certified or have experience in this type of adoption of regulation in a company. Many of our clients in consulting company, additionally as a trainer, I see that They want to implement some project about the digital business implementation in their firms. This proceeds a big gap and but also a big opportunity for people, for professionals to learn, to educate it, and do practical work in the implementation of these regulations. This is not only that we do one-time job about we do the implemented everything we found in the ISO or the rest of the regulation and it's over. We must do monitoring in all duration of the year to see about if they follow all the processes, of keep all this information or evidence that we follow the right processes. So the most important in this task is to keep documented everything, keep information, keep created lesson learned about and to share with the audit departments, the audit people, about to be sure about that you follow all the processes that you can. Key challenges in cybersecurity compliance. First of all, we have regulatory overlap. We speak before about NIS, DORA, and ISO, and GDPR, of course. And share overlapping control, but it requires separate documentation, evidence, and reporting cycles. Okay. In project management, we said lesson learned or documented everything because we always have audit next to us about to check if in implementation of the project we follow all the frameworks or regulations. Otherwise, we'll have big problem with this. Okay. We must be sure about resources constraints. Compliance team are understaffed. Skilled professionals who can bridge legal, technical, and operation domains are incredibly scalable. Okay. I will be recommended from my side to search about the most famous certification or organization to follow, create some certifications and frameworks about how to follow and implement this type of processes. My recommendation is to be one of the first ones in European countries because it's my market and I see that it works a lot, that you have the experience and knowledge about implementing this. Okay. And daily I receive too many information and messages about people that they want to hire people for this type of positions. The third one will be regulatory velocity. Frameworks involve continually staying current with amendments, guidance document, and informs in the regulation consumer significant capacity. Here in the ISO, in the guidance of ISO, we speak about processes, documents, and operations. I recommended my approach in this type of project when I start them is to understand, first of all, what we already have internally or for the clients. Okay. What do they have already? What's ready? We don't start from zero. That's included to the different type of certification like framework, like ETL 4 and 5. Then we have a gap analysis about what is missing, neither for automations, if we want to go to digital or artificial intelligence adoption, or through the regulation that we need. Then we start to see the dependencies between the processes and what will be the regulation that we need to adopt in this type of in the policies or to the operations in the firm. Fourth one, the fragmentation. Evidence is scattered across spreadsheet, ticketing system, cloud platform, and email, creating audit readiness nightmares. I share with you that I saw companies that they adopt to use email to keep all this type of evidence. This is not working very well. It's not something very official to use in your companies. First of all, with the support of collaboration with the help desk, I imagine to open ticket system with specific ticket numbers in different type of operations or incidents that will be open. You can use an ITSM software like ServiceNow, or if you have some custom ones, and include the incident report, and which will have the process to follow if something's happened, and most important, who have the ownership to give the green light to proceed with the ownership. I don't want to forget that the last months we have new frameworks about to always inform the high-level managers. Those the C-level managers or steering committee or I don't know how you call them, or sponsors, they have the authority to proceed with the implementation of the project or either the regulations. If you don't have the green light, you can't proceed with the adoption of these type of regulations. I want to mention that if something happens, they have the responsibility to proceed with the mitigation plan or to take the responsibility if something happens. You must have clear the scope, what you want to do in this type of implementation of AI tool or of the regulations. What will happen if you don't apply, what will be the impact, and to be sure about how you will be proceed. Why current approach fails? First of all, manual preset drive, gap assessment related to static Excel file control and tracking in silos with no real visibility, version control of cross-framework mapping. Secondly, fragmented ownership, compliance sits across IT, legal, HR operation, but without a unified platform, collaboration breaks down. Critical tasks fail through the cracks between departments. And reactive, not predictive, organizations scramble before audit rather than maintaining continuing compliance posture. Gaps are discovered during assessment, not before it's occurred. First of all, I want to say that a few years before, we didn't have security to follow the project. We go with the implementation of any project or service. And after the testings and when we built almost the product or service in the 90% of the product, then the security team should check, or the legal department, regulatory department should check about if this product or service follow the security or regulation that we need to follow. In this type of projects, we have too many fails and go back in the beginning of the project again and spend too much time and budget in this type of processes. Then we implement it, we go through the collaboration in the first phase of the planning. Neither is agile or waterfall, with the collaboration of the security team, the risk assessment team, the regulatory team, whatever is to follow and collaborate. Be sure about when you create the risk assessment or risk analysis to be sure that you advise from security and regulatory team that you follow right processes, and you keep in mind that you must adopt all these regulation or security reasons to follow up. Of course, it's difficult between the key stakeholders as we in cross departments to receive all this information. Keep on track the project, keep all this information, create the timelines with the correct tasks, and be sure that you break down all the processes and you follow step by step the regulation that you must implement. I will suggest when we will see about to build a tool like this, it will be better to automate, keep all this type of information and storage the evidence that you need for the audience. Okay, and the audit. Compliance life cycle. First of all, we start with the regulation, implementation of regulation. We already know about the processes and we will see it later. The policies that will be followed and separate and implemented. Maybe you can create the SOP, standard operation processes, to know about who has the ownership and the process that you follow in any case, and the implementation of the project or of operations. Then don't forget to monitoring everything to be sure about that. Keep in mind that if something happens, some problem arise, you have the plan to mitigate it or to raise it. Why this gap exists? First of all, we must implement from the beginning the regulation to policy and translate it to policy. Legal language is means cited on incompletely translated into acceptable internal policies. Okay. Then implement the policies to the operation, to the processes that you have. Approved policies sit in document repositories, but never reach the team responsible for executing them. It's not necessary, it's not only about implementing the policies, the SOPs, and use it. Additionally, don't forget to train the people about what you do and to know about how to follow this type of policies. Of course, in all big companies, when we join, you follow some training seasons through PowerPoints or video to be sure, and you sign about that you knew already all this regulation and will be follow this. It will be much better if you avoid to share personal information or security codes or anything like this. And the last one will be in the implementation of the monitoring evidence of control execution not streamlined collected. Keep all this information and documentation in one place. Don't share in different digital channels the information or different folders to avoid to create any gap. Introduction to AI compliance. The AI compliance copilot, or you use Google, whatever you want, intelligent orchestration layer that sits across your entire compliance lifecycle. Reading regulation, mapping controls, identify gaps, and generate actionable recommendation in real time. Okay. I go a little faster about to go to the theoretically, go to the practical. I don't want to have any delay. Intelligence understanding regulatory languages and maps to control automatically, real-time continuous monitoring instead of point-in-time assessment, a connected NFI view across NIS2, DORA, and ISO 237 simultaneously. So I will say that in our company, in our firm, I worked in the past too, we have online monitoring everything. Additionally, for the clients, we have the SLA agreements. It's the agreement between the company and the clients as a vendor to support if something happens. I want to inform that we have in something happening in the system or the application on the file transfer with the clients. We have 4 hours to go back to online or to continue the operations. Okay. Otherwise, we will have big penalties. And of course, this will be a problem for the firm. Okay. So include all this type of information if you work as a consultant in the SLA agreement. That will be control and support and the maintenance of your clients. And you have documented everything in your SLA. Okay. You must have some people informed 24/7 about to keep in mind that if something happens, will be alert, will take part and actions to implement it, the mitigation plans, okay, to fix everything, and to be sure that and to know about we never give in artificial intelligence 100% the actions to do it. We must always to have monitoring and check about the results of AI. I suppose that every one of you knows about the use of AI. It will be better about to have a role in this type of approach in your prompts about what type of skills of people needs to go to adopt this approach, to proceed with this approach, and additionally, what you want to do specifically in this type of information. For the test, for the example today, we will use regulatory ingestion and mapping, gap analysis and risk scoring, policy and control generation, and continuous monitoring and reporting. Of course, I have a light level of this process. Okay, otherwise we can proceed all together with the implementation of the products live. How will be the architecture overview in project management? When we take the green light of the business case to proceed with a project in the planning phase, we must start with the architecture design. What we can going to do. Okay. Will be a collaboration between the project manager, the architecture designer, and the regulatory in this type of, and same probably with the security team. Okay. In data lakes, we must understand we have the regulatory database, the implementation of regulation that we want, neither if it is ISO, NIS2, or DORA. That's why I told you in the beginning it will be better to do all together. Okay. Because maybe you find different regulations, find different gaps or missing information in your processes. Implementation of the internal policies. Okay. In the past, I created the company I worked AI chatbot about, and we check with external and external regulations and rules and internal ones about to analyze the marketing content before we proceed with the go live with the content. This saves the 50% of our times, I want to say to you, and it will be very useful. And in the next 5 years, we will save some millions in the company. And then we must control the evidence that we receive. First, for us to analyze if something works fine and if we are okay with the results of the automate processes, proceed with the audit logs and create a ticket system about how we will proceed. Document it and storage everything in a database center. And of course, my approach always to be to have a cloud implemented software, because from my perspective, it will be much more safer. Then we must implement the AI engine layers, the NLP regulation parcel, create the control mapper, the gap analyzer, as told you in the beginning, the recommendation that we have in the engine, and the report of the regeneration. That we will see in the practice. Then the output layer, what will be the result of this type of tool, compliance dashboard, the gap report, the recommendation task, the audit packages, and the executive summaries. We will see this as a result of the tool. The practical use case, the financial service firm, the scenario, and what will be the AI action will do in this type of processes. One demo we will show, okay. The regulation input, the control mapping, the gap detection, and the output. The result will be a gap report, the risk scoring, and recommendation. The implementation of the project management in compliance, what we do and what we will have as a result after the implementation of AI in compliance, the governance, the risk, and the AI compliance. Okay. The missing information from artificial intelligence, that's why I told you it will be better always to check about the results, the accountability gaps that will be found, the data privacy and model risk, and the model bias validation. Okay. You can see, of course, you understand the benefit of organization, you will be save some budget, you will be save time. People with the knowledge in this regulation will have many new opportunities in their jobs. Okay. And of course, you have continued visibility and real-time monitoring of this type of information. Okay. Limitation and considerations. in the processes and the future of AI compliance. Now, what I do, I perspective, okay, it will be for the beginning, for the light level, uh, start level, for someone who have some start point with AI, okay, I will recommend Google AI Studio, okay. We open you open the software, the desktop approach, and then we will create the environment and the prompts about that will be used. I use Gemini 3.1. Of course, you can, if you build most over, you can build other AI tools, okay, like ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever you want, and start with the prompts, okay. It's not in all these libraries of AI, of course, know what is ISO, specifically what is NIS and DORA. But if you need, it will be better for you to upload your policies, your personal policies of your firm, and additionally, separately, to include the ISO 27000, NIS2, and DORA. Okay. I use a mix of all of them without included. Okay, I found a policy from a bank for the test and for this example. Okay, and we will see about the results. I created the prompt directly, and I asked for AI compliance to use to test through the ISO 27000, NIS2, and DORA. I explain what will be the role of what we want to do here, okay, and step by step what I ask to do, okay. In this situation, let me, because we use Google AI and not ChatGPT. Otherwise, you can use ChatGPT, but you must always use the same prompt again and again, okay. In Google AI, it's not necessary. You create as a tool, you give the instruction here, the instruction here, what you must do, and then you can work only with a simple prompt. Okay. Let's see what, let me do it again. Of course, you can separately separate the regulations, okay, and um, sorry, let me, and I will use the process of the bank, okay. You can find it online. Otherwise, from another course I have, you can find the processes like maybe, sorry, a loan card payment processes, or maybe a loan process, how to follow, and check about, or from insurance company, the process to build the project or to proceed with a payment. Okay, whatever you want. Otherwise, you can upload a process that you have, and you can run this to see the results. Sorry. Sorry. And let's see. and let's see what happened as a result. Core analysis process, always follow the process when analyze documents. Step 1, policy understanding, summarize purpose, identify key controls, control mapping, what we want to do, output modes, support mode 1, compliance analysis, provide analysis, section 1, keep cards, compliance score, critical gaps, risk level, remediation effort, section 2, access control maturity, incident response readiness, third-party risk, monitoring and logins. Okay. Section 3, 4, and include all this regulation. It will be better for you if you want to implement it to separate all of them to analyze most as you can do. Okay. What he told me, step 1, control incident report, found the annex, we have the incident management, the articles, when in fact included the articles of DORA, access control authentication, gap analysis, some recommendation, weak or missing control, okay, risk evaluations, remediation actions, and prioritizations. Okay. Then, so I created from the system instruction, included the prompt. It's not necessary to run it again and again. You can run only the process about to analyze the operations. Here I explain to you how it works. Okay, that we create the systems, the tools to run the prompt. Okay, automated the tool creates the deep analysis of the mode and execution dashboard mode, show us the workflow, and we have the outcomes. Okay, remediation planning, again, and from analysis to visualizations. Okay. Then I want to translate the text, the recommendation from the tool to KPIs and some metrics. Okay. I included okay. Oh. Something else. So the first phase was to analyze as a document the processes and take to the text to keep it for the audit. Then we ask about KPI and metrics. If you want to create an analysis of this type of informations, okay. And we see this here, it will be better for you for the risk analysis or risk assessment sort of analysis to have the percentage of the KPIs, the metrics, how you evaluate this in low, medium, and high risk. Okay, it is under your responsibility. And it will be better about to create through a duration of 3, 6, or 1 year. Okay. What is the risk level and how you will be proceed? Until now, it will be a very good analysis about the process that you follow and the implementation of regulation with the use of AI. But if you must show this to the high-level manager, it will be not very good or useful to open Google, AI Audio, AI Studio to show the result. It will be better for you to implement, to use a platform about a high-level approach to have it visualized. For me, it will be better to use for me Power BI because I used it in the past for sales and marketing analysis, additionally for the project analysis. It will show you can use it to use the Power BI. It will be better to use it to export in JSON format. Okay, you can ask. If the tools like AI Studio cannot export, you can use ChatGPT with this all type of informations to export in the JSON format. Okay. So it will take some time, so you will see something like so personal data JSON. Okay. We receive this type of information and you can export this in a JSON format. Then we open up a BI desktop format. We click on the blank report, and we use all this type of information. Okay. For you, we go to the get data, more, and add the JSON file. From the right side, you will see all the checkboxes, the summaries, the average, all the prices, and the metrics that we need. You can choose from the visualizations about how you will be show the metrics, and then with the implementation and checkpoints, you can show in the steering committee, in the high-level C-level managers about the implementation and the metrics that you do it. Additionally, it will be very useful for you for the audit. Okay, this is a very good way to visualize all the results that you have from AI Studio. And another part, if you want to proceed, this is a tool that you can use it always, but it will be necessary to open AI Studio. From people that you have working as a consultant or product companies, software engineering companies, that you want to promote and proceed with the implementation of this type of project, it will be better to create API, okay, to connect the software to show about the result. To avoid to open AI Studio, you will have a standalone processes, and you will be show with the using of AI to will be show to working on as a desktop in your systems. We use the consulting companies internally too to create some AI chatbots or tools for use of AI. This will be the second part, okay, of the implementation with the API. And the third one is about to use and translate the prompt to a Python code, okay, to do the real product, to connect. Now that you connect to build the AI Google tool with the API with another software, you have the engine of the product, but you need to build the entire car of your product or the service. Okay, and to proceed with that, you must transform the approach in Python, as I told you before, and use a different type of tool like Google Colab. You will see something like this. Okay, this is the code. What is missing here is the key. Okay, go to the Google, open the Gemini, and implement the key. It's for your test, it will be very cheap for the implementation. And this will be code, write the code in Python. I suggest you to break down all the processes one by one for ISO, one for NIS2, and one for DORA. Okay, and then translate this to Python code. Okay, implement it and use it in the collab. Okay, and then you can create the product. As I do a search through the implementation of AI in compliance, they already have built some tools, but I'm sure because of the needs in European countries, as I can see, because this market I know, many people will be needs about the implementation of this. I spent almost 45 minutes. Okay. Um, Let me stop sharing. I share some information. Share some information very quick from my presentations. Okay. You can see the records to check about step by step what I choose to share with you. Do you have any question from your side about AI compliance, what you want to discuss? Anyone? About governance control, what governance control should be established before introducing AI into compliance processes? Governance is internal processes. It's about a specific process that you follow, SOP. It means that I want to implement it a project um, or to create an event internally or to proceed with the hired persons. So you must create the SOP, standard operation processes, about what steps and through which platform process that you will be used. Example, you use Azure or internal processes. In my previous company, we create from scratch a process, okay, an intranet with the processes. In the consulting companies I work, but most of them they use ServiceNow or Azure, okay. And then the secondly for the governance to use the ownership, who have the ownership, most over the manager of the departments, okay. It means that we have an incident who must in different departments. If it is below to HR departments, you must inform the HR manager and the CISO or security manager, whatever you have, or the chief information officer, who have the ownership from your side in each process and who must inform. If you know something like RASI you have in the project management, we separate the roles of each person. Okay, but moreover, remember to add the manager or C-level managers to be formed and have the ownership of the processes. That's 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 how we create the governance control. And before you proceed, I don't know if you have project manager internally or externally from your side, or you will not, someone from your department, you will do it. You must share the information about which AI tool you will be use, how you will be use the information, be sure about avoid to use any ChatGPT or Gemini public platforms to avoid GDPR and share information. This will be a very big, have a very big impact in your company. Okay, create personal data centers with your information. If you want to use it, the most common one, you have the payment solutions. Some, but from my perspective, I'll avoid it. And open the risk assessments and analysis before you proceed with implementation of AI. Okay. How can organization practically align NIS2 without creating duplicated effort? To This is something different. First of all, NIS2 is only for financial organization. DORA is for important organizations like finance, energy, etc. And ISO is only guidance. It's not necessary to follow. NIS2 and DORA, it is mandatory. So that's why I share to avoid to create a mix of all regulation like I did it now. In my approach, it will be only very important to create in financial sector like bank or insurance company. So if you do it manually and not with the use of AI or create an AI tools, you must have a breakdown analysis of the operation of the processes, run a gap analysis, ITIL for foundation, the certification said that start where you are, what you already have. Don't start all from the beginning. Find the missing information that you have, the gap analysis that you say, and then build when you understand the dependencies and the risk analysis, which means if I make any change in this process, what will be the impact? Okay. If you want to avoid any duplicated effort, you must find, because have many common sectors, parts on this, you must find the common parts to avoid to do it. But if we speak about incident report or risk analysis, they are very common. Okay, so if you follow the start from the harder one, the more tougher, which means NIS2, then you will be sure about that you've already followed the DORA and ISO 237. But in the company, we start. This is about the implementation in the client. From our side, we start in ISO, and then we see about if we need NIS2 or DORA. How should the organization validate AI generating compliance recommendation? About the tools, to check about the result of the tools. Okay, that's why I share with you one example of Google AI or Gemini AI. Okay, this is a very good. I create this in less than 20 minutes. Okay, half hour. If you know how to run it, if you follow the processes. If you see the results, you can use different type of tools. Try ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, cloud, whatever you want, okay, to see what will be the best approach and the results will be closer to the real one. Of course, you must check the results of this and not let it free without check the analysis. Okay. If I based of my experience, I prefer Gemini for this type of tools to create it. But most over, the critical is about not to share information with other people. But in this type of when we created internal tools for the company or for the clients, based on to cover the needs of the clients, we have internal database data centers with the database internally without sharing this type of information. For me, the most important is to check about the results of each tool. In your experience, what is the biggest mindset shift for compliance? For me, the biggest let's say that someone wants to jump in this type of world about regulation and the AI. To see about ISO speak about guidance. It don't say that you have one layer of security or 5 level security. You can, as he mentioned, you must continue improve your security. From my perspective, I will proceed first of all to have the best ones about security reason to cover all the needs. Okay, so I will be sure not only to implement it a regulation, but additionally to have all security technically in physical. I mean, like cameras, IoT, electrical doors, cards. Additionally, how you will be proceed with the in a system, how you log in the system. You have two-phase authentications, what who has access and in which file have access. Okay. We have I remember a very good implementation. Of course, Azure have give ownership and access to different type of files or parts of the company. But we use a different type of software, which was much more harder. In the beginning, it was very expensive, and sponsors want to avoid to implement this project. But when we discuss and share what risk he will be avoided and mitigated, everyone was very happy to proceed. So I will say, from my perspective, to keep in mind to have, first of all, to continue improve the security, and secondly, to keep evidence. I don't remember how many times when I want have test the project and the technical team, DevOps, DevSecOps, whatever you want, avoid to keep information or evidence for this type of testing. Okay, that's why it's under responsibility of project managers or technical or chief information officer probably to create the test plan that will be followed. Thank you. Thank you for the organization. Yes, you can have the recording. Sure, the recording will be sent. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I hope I helped you a little one. I spent a lot of time about to explain in what is compliance and the adoption of AI. But from my approach, it will be very helpful. I learned a lot too about with a practical reason. Okay, separated. My suggestion will be find the processes of your organization. Maybe you work as a business analyst or operation managers or project managers. Separate the processes in your company all for the clients. Break down smaller tasks. Okay. Create a gap analysis. Okay. And about the AI tools and regulations, remember 3 steps. First of all, to create it, the documentation that I write the first prompt about, tell me what is missing, what is increasing, and of course, include metrics, a low level crisis, high level, medium level, or high risk, medium risk. Create a mitigation plan, make suggestions. This will be the first plan. Secondly, ask to create all the KPIs and metrics that you will need. Something will be very useful for your career too, in your CV, on your LinkedIn profiles, whatever it is, to include this type of informations, personal informations. And the third part will be to export in a format like JSON that a visualize software like Power BI use understand, and you will give you the report for not only for the audit part, but additionally for the high-level managers. Thank you all for being here. I hope to see you again. Thank you, iExperts, for this, for calling me for this course, and I hope to see you again. Thank you all.